So let's talk about the three main types of investment vehicles. There are debt instruments, also known as fixed income, equity instruments, also known as stocks or shares, and also investment funds. So we're going to talk about debt instruments first. Debt instruments indicate that money is being borrowed and one party is in debt to another. So the cost of borrowing that money is called interest, and the borrower pays interest until the initial principal amount is repaid. So the investor collects that interest money until their money is repaid back to them. And an example of a debt instrument is called a bond or an investment bond. So here's how it works. There's you, the investor, and then another party wants to borrow money. So you give them the principal amount. And then until they pay back that principal amount, they owe you extra money in interest. An example of a debt instrument is a bond. So in this example, you invest $1,000 in a 10-year bond with 5% interest. So 5% of $1,000 is $50. So every year you get $50 in interest. So you get this interest payment every year for the 10-year period. And then at the end of the 10-year period, the borrower pays back that principal amount, the original $1,000. But you've also gained the interest. So now let's talk about equity instruments. Equity instruments are all about ownership. It's not borrowing, it's ownership. Equity instruments are also known as stocks or shares because the investor purchases a share of the company and gains some ownership. The value of the share of the company fluctuates with the company's performance. So if the company performs well and is profitable, the investor's share in the company will increase in value. But if the company performs poorly, the share will decrease in value. So here's how it works. In this case, you provide your money or capital to the company as your investment. And in return, they provide you with some stock ownership. Now, let's say for an example, you bought a stock for $100. After a year, the company performs so well that the value of that stock doubles to $200. So you, as the investor, then decide to sell the stock and cash it out for $200, making a profit. Now, the final one is an investment fund. And an investment fund is a collection or mixture of investment vehicles. So when you buy a share of a fund, you are buying small portions of many different investments. So some examples of investment funds include mutual funds and what are called ETFs or exchange traded funds. So when it comes to investment funds, you as the investor will invest your money or capital into the investment fund, and you get a fund share. So one share of that collection or pool of multiple stocks and interest opportunities. So let's say, for example, you spend $50 on a share, and inside of the fund, some stocks have increased, some have decreased, but overall, the overall value of the fund has increased. So now when you go to sell your fund shares, you cash out at a profit.